Indian Museum in the heart of the cultural capital of India. One of the oldest museums with a rare collection of antiques and paintings. 3 years back, a young, honest scientist arrived at the seat of heritage. Sunil Upadhyay, age 35. A heritage conservation scientist at Kolkata's Indian Museum. A daring officer who his friends felt would rather compromise his life instead of compromising his duty. His honesty was often considered foolish by his colleagues. But for Sunil, it has been a way of life. Today, his family feels it could be his determination to follow the path of truth that resulted in his disappearance. Yes, Sunil Upadhyay is missing. He has been untraceable for over a month. But did his uncomfortable questions at the museum have anything to do with it? Was Sunil privy to incriminating developments? Has he been silenced?
Sunil Upadhyay, the preservation officer of Indian Museum in Kolkata, has been missing since 3rd of July. Over a month has gone by, but there is no trace of this young officer. In next 30 minutes, we will be looking into the details of this case of a mysterious disappearance of Sunil Upadhyay.
At the Upadhyay residence near Kolkata's Charu Market, Sunil's empty bed remains a painful reminder of his absence. His phone, which was once buzzing with calls and reminders, now lies silent. The scientist left his phone at home the day he went missing.
हम लोग जब बाद में आए तो पता लगा कि उसी दिन पता लगा कि 11 बजे रात में हमको यहाँ से बताया गया फ़ोन से कि ऐसे ऐसे हुआ है, शाम में 7 बजे निकले हैं, अभी तक नहीं आए। 11 बजे रात में हमको पता चला। तब से हम भी छटपटा रहे थे। दूसरे दिन सुबह वहाँ से ट्रेन पकड़ लिए घर से, 5 तारीख को यहाँ आ गए और उसके बाद जो है फिर अपना यहाँ से पुलिस ऑफिसर से मिलना, फिर लाल बाज़ार जाना, ये सब हुआ। हाँ, मोबाइल फ़ोन बता रहे हैं लोग कि घर में ही छोड़ के गए थे। जो यहाँ पर रहते हैं वो बताए कि मोबाइल फ़ोन घर पे था, साइलेंट था।
His laptop, one of his most prized possessions, lies untouched since the day Sunil left home. Working on this computer after work was almost a daily ritual for the conservationist. Now it's agonizing for the family to even steal a look at it.
कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है। हम लोग परसों डीसी साहब को भी मिल के आए थे। वो भी कह रहे हैं हम लोग ट्रेस कर रहे हैं, बट अभी कोई ऐसा सुराग नहीं है जो कुछ बता पाए। तो अभी तक कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है, देयर इज नो इन्फॉर्मेशन। और वो डीसी साहब का कहना है कि हम इसको सर्च करके आपको रिजल्ट ज़रूर देंगे, बट अब मुझे लगता है टाइम बहुत बीत गया है। अभी स्टिल मीन्स वो वहीं पे हैं जहाँ पे थे स्टार्टिंग। तो अभी कुछ नहीं पता चला है। हम लोग तो बहुत परेशान हैं। अब हम लोग रहते रहते यहाँ पे 1 महीने 6-7 दिन और हो गया। अब मतलब वी आर फीलिंग वेरी मच टायर्ड ड्यू टू दिस कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस। तो कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा हम लोग क्या करें। तो अभी कोई पता नहीं चला सब।
Rajesh was the last person who saw Sunil leave home for a walk to Dhakuria Lake. He mentioned nothing in particular. It was just another day after work, and Sunil casually mentioned he needed some air. That he left his phone behind at home did not bother his family then. It has been over 30 days since that day.
इंडियन म्यूजियम में बहुत गोलमाल है। इंडियन म्यूजियम में अभी जो हम लोगों को पता चल रहा है धीमे धीमे करके, वो सुनील के पास बहुत सारी इंक्वायरी भी उसको दे रखी थी, अपार्ट फ्रॉम हिज प्रिजर्वेशन वर्क। कंजर्वेशन वर्क के अलावा बहुत ढेर सारा काम दे रखा था, जिसको जैसे इंक्वायरी करना, एक इंक्वायरी थी, कुछ कमेटी थी उसको हैंडल करना, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क उसको दे रखा था। तो ऐसे में वो स्ट्रिक्ट होना उसका नुकसानदायक है। ऐसे काम दे रखे हैं, उनमें उसकी स्ट्रिक्टनेस से बहुत से लोगों को नुकसान हो सकता है या उनको प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है। तो हम लोगों को अब ये डाउट लगने लगा कोई इसकी वजह से किसी ने कुछ किया तो नहीं ऐसा। अभी ये इसकी वजह से हम लोगों को बहुत डर भी लग रहा है कि ये डेंजरस है, मतलब अगर ऐसा कुछ हुआ तो बहुत डेंजरस हो सकता है।
Sunil Upadhyay was an achiever. From Delhi University to Chicago, he strived to be the best at his profession, and on most occasions successfully achieved his goals. So when he decided to take up a job in Kolkata, the Upadhyayas were elated. But ever since he joined work at the Indian Museum, the family had noticed something unusual about his behavior. He appeared disturbed, even unhappy.
Sunil was allegedly made a scapegoat in the case of damage to the Lion Capital during renovation. He was also upset with some officers of Indian Museum as they were being entrusted with duties they were not fit for. His family members allege this could be reasons behind Sunil's disappearance, but museum authorities deny all the charges, claiming they have nothing to do with the disappearance of Sunil Upadhyay.
Was there any kind of inquiry that was pending against him, because the reports are suggesting that he had raised his voice against some corruption charges here in Indian Museum?
No, not really. But one more thing, that as the Supreme Court takes up this case, it's better not to comment anything in this present circumstances.
But I just want to ask you, was there any kind of whistle blowing in a sense that he did here in Indian Museum?
As I said, no comments in this regard, as the Supreme Court already takes up this case.
Sunil is said to have been more than vocal about the irregularities at the museum. He had several run-ins with the top officers. But despite their snub, he stood his ground.
The advice of the Board of Trustees. They should not take any decision without taking the advice of the Board of Trustees.
Do they take decisions?
No, not at all. At least in my capacity, I can assure you that I have not been consulted at any stage during this period. And I am extremely unhappy with the performance of the director and security officer.
His colleagues say he had been made a scapegoat in a recent scandal, the Lion Capital case. A sculpture of high value was destroyed because of manhandling. But Sunil saw a larger plot at play.
They don't have any trained personnel and they don't know how to handle the objects. That is the main problem. They outsource some people who are not properly trained, and they simply take the risk of handling the objects, which is absolutely improper and is not correct. And as a result, the Lion Capital has been damaged during the transportation.
The allegations were very serious, so our team decided to get the other side of the story. But at the Indian Museum, our crew was stopped.
Media spokesperson इनको शाइन बटे रूम का
We found no answers. The secrets remained well within the white walls of the Indian Museum.
ডিরেক্টর সাহেব কি দেখা করবেন? হ্যাঁ, না উনি তো বলেছেন যা বলার, একটু ডিরেক্টর সাহেবের সঙ্গে কথা বলতে চাইছিলাম। হ্যাঁ, সে তো যা বলেন উনি বলেছেন, একটু ওনার সঙ্গে একটু দেখা করা যাবে না? পরে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ওই সুনীল উপাধ্যায় যে আপনাদের প্রেজেন্টেশন অফিসার ছিলেন, ওই ব্যাপারটা একটুখানি ওনার সঙ্গে একটু কথা বলতে চাইছিলাম।
But there was someone else too who believed there was more to the missing Sunil mystery. RTI activist Parthasarthi had arrived at the museum while looking for a film on Sikkim. Soon Partha found himself staring at a mega web of deceit. The nation's biggest treasure trove had turned into a matter of shame.
Actually, I'm willing to tell about missing. Missing मतलब सिर्फ तो कोई living person is not only missing, living and unliving, like Buddha Murti also missing. A film like Sikkim, directed by director Raja Das Gupta. So that film also missing. So all are missing is now is heritage of our museum. It's becoming a heritage of our museum. Missing is itself becoming a heritage. ये एक ऐतिह्य हो गया था कि missing is missing, missing is missing, missing is missing. Human being missing, Buddha Murti missing, एक lion उसका भी broken हो गया.
Kolkata police has recorded the statements of a number of employees of Indian Museum but could not get any strong evidence against them as yet. They're not ruling out any possibilities. In a bid to get a lead in this case, they're exploring all the angles, including his call details, his personal life, family background, health condition, and his spiritual ambition.
Soon it became clear that Sunil was investigating a money laundering racket. So was that the reason for his disappearance? Did he uncover something that would embarrass his bosses? For many like his family and friends, the link was obvious. But there are no real answers yet. While a top